Mm. Um, yeah, so I mean, thanks for sharing about the PCNS because I wasn't aware of that work. And interestingly, I mean, mainly because you brought it up, but probably about 50% of my clients, my one-to-one clients, have a neurological disorder or neurodegenerative condition. So yeah, I have a number of clients with MS, with Parkinson's.
Wow.
So that's really interesting. So of course, I don't have a lived experience in relation to that, but I certainly have professional experience of using movement and nutrition and lifestyle for those clients. And because I do have a significant emphasis on the evidence in relation to that, and the therapeutic benefits of movement and also play, because it's just a great way to facilitate that. There are remarkable benefits, and unfortunately, most conventional wisdom tends to tout almost a reduction of movement. Actually, be careful. You can actually exacerbate whatever issues that may be condition based. Be careful about exercise. Be careful what you do. Be careful when you do it, how you do it, how intense it should be, and most of the benefits actually come by not listening to convention, and paying attention to what has been borne out in the last decade or so as to what is useful as a movement prescription for individuals with those conditions. So I've seen radical transformations with some of my clients who've taken that on board and are doing things that they thought, oh, we've been told not to, or actually I had no idea I could do this, and I'm thriving and functioning as a result. So I think there's certainly something to having a different view on how movement could be used therapeutically for people with those conditions. In terms of my own journey, yeah, I suppose it was being told at a relatively young age that my outlook health-wise wasn't very positive. so when you feel that you're relatively healthy and young and bulletproof, and then you're told, well, actually you're very close to having full-blown type 2 diabetes, you're at a very high risk of having a cardiac event or getting a stroke in the next sort of 5 years. Like, what? Your blood pressure's through the roof. We really want to put you on meds immediately. So that's what I was told at 35. You need statins, you need beta blockers, you need metformin, and you need it now before you leave the surgery. That's what we need to give you. And I just had lots of questions. Like, I thought that aren't those meds you give to people who are a lot older than I? That was one question I had. Is this genetic? I just don't understand why. I'm not overweight or obese. I'm not a smoker. So I just had lots of questions. What can I do about it? Take these meds. What about the side effects? You haven't got time to worry about the side effects. You just need to take the meds. If you have any side effects, we'll work around those. And I didn't have any interest in health or well-being. I didn't have any interest in any of the science. I didn't know anything about the science, to be honest. I was a computer scientist. That was my science background. But I knew that exercise could help with blood pressure, and that was the only thing that I was able to glean from the conversation, that I felt that I could have some control over. Doctor, do you reckon if I do some exercise, could that help? Maybe, but not to the extent that you would like. It's not gonna delay you having to go on the meds. So being told that and being given a bit of time to join a gym and to be retested, and that's basically what happened. So I said, okay, give me 30 days. let me just try to change my life in the next month or so and see what comes out of it. And I said, if anything changes radically and there aren't any improvements, or you tell me that I need the meds, I'm happy to take the meds. So I wasn't anti-med, prescription med. I was just like, can I just have more control over this process by doing some exercise? So that's basically what started the journey of me realizing there was something that I could do. My blood pressure came down to, my blood pressure probably started at about 165 over 140. It was just ridiculous. One of my first blood pressure readings after a few months was 115 over 70. So it was just such a difference. I was getting like 120 over 80 regularly. I knew that much. I knew that was kind of normal blood pressure. And I was getting like 115 over 75, and my cholesterol profile improved, my lipid profile improved, and my blood sugar levels improved. So my A1C came down from almost full-blown type 2 into lower pre-diabetic, then into normal.
Yeah.
So at that stage, my doctor was like, you don't need the meds anymore. Keep doing what you're doing, and I will speak about this to some of my patients. And I'm going to do a case study looking at lifestyle intervention with my patients.
How many years ago was this? How many years?
That was 16 years ago, 17 years now. Yeah, 16 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a very, so I was 35, and I'm 51 now, and that was the start of my journey, and I suppose that the intellectual fascination of being aware that there was research that could inform me why these changes were beneficial. So that got me into exercise in a big way. So I was like, I want to do this because it's helped me get into shape. It's helping my health, but I want to understand the why, the nuts and bolts. Yeah. And I got into nutrition because I was like, well, hey, I'm improving my diet, I'm improving my exercise, but what about the fuel? How am I going to fuel myself? Surely I need to do something about my nutrition. So exercise is the gateway for me to then look at nutrition. I tried different diets, found one that seemed to to benefit me, seemed to fit my ideals at the time. Continued with that. Then had a decision around, can I continue to do the work that I'm doing within investment banking as a technologist? People were asking me questions. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? You look great. You look healthier. What's changed? I'm not really sure I can tell you. I don't know enough about this. I don't feel as if I'm knowledgeable enough to advise. So I wanted to get into that position. I was like, I want to be able to help people.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what I want to do as my new vocation outside of finance. But the real light bulb moment, getting into play, was several years in. So this is probably now sort of 6 or 7 years into my journey, where still had really good blood test results, really radically transformed my health, almost became evangelical about it, and preaching to the world as to what they should be doing for healthy lifestyles. I started to hate the gym experience